What's up everybody, Jake from P3 here, and in today's video we're going to install our new V3 OBD2 gauge in this 11th gen Honda Civic. First off, let's go over what you receive when you order a gauge, and this is just going to be a standard gauge, no options. You're going to get a glove box guide, which is going to be on the top of your package. It's going to give you all your standard parts, and those will be checked off what you received. And then down here, we've got options that you may have received as well. We've got our display. This one's going to clip into the defrost vent on the top of your dash to the left of your steering wheel. Control box, that's the brains of the unit where everything happens. We've got our harness assembly, which consists of two parts. We've got our OBD2 harness, because this is the V3 OBD2 gauge, and then we've got our main harness. Those can disconnect in the middle at this connector. So if you want to do a hardwire kit, you can replace this with a hardwire kit. Last but not least, we have our coveted P3 sticker, one with every kit. I'd also recommend for this install our trim kit, which is on the accessories page. I'll link it down below as well, but it is definitely going to aid you in getting that defrost vent popped out of the top of the dash. Very simple to do with one of these trim kits. We're in the car with our three main components. We got our display, our control box, and the harness. Go ahead and plug those into each other. And we're going to go ahead and test this out before we install, just to make sure everything's on the up and up. So go ahead and plug it into your OBD2 port, which is at the outer edge there. And then you'll see some dots, maybe a 0, come on. Go ahead and start your engine. The dots will speed up. And then after a moment, it'll slow down, and then it's going to pop on for us. There we are. We're reading vacuum. You can see it reacts to throttle. We can jump over to something else, such as RPM. Make sure that's reading data as well. As long as you're getting good data, you're good to install. So we'll proceed from here. Now that we're tested and ready to go, the first step is going to be to remove this lower trim right here. You won't need any tools to do that, but it is a very positive snap-in fit. So you kind of get under it and pull toward you, just like that. And it does have harnesses behind it, so we can either gently let that lay flat or go ahead and disconnect your harnesses and put it in the passenger seat. Next up, we're going to go ahead and remove this defrost vent. And you will need to be careful as you're popping this out that the leather that is layered underneath doesn't get peeled up with the vent, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. So right here, these tabs, if you're not careful, they can kind of pull on this leather. So just be mindful of that as you're removing it. Now this is pulled out and ready for the display to be installed. So we've got our display here and our defrost vent, and this is simply going to mount right in this far side here and push into place, and it'll kind of snap into place at the bottom. And your cable is just going to stay right on the outside of the vent and get tucked in between these tabs like so. Next, we're going to take the cable and feed it not into the plenum, but between the plenum and the dash. And the cable will be able to drop down. You might need to wiggle it around a bit, but it should quickly drop down far enough to where you can grab it from under the dash or feel it. And then we're going to go ahead and pull this through as we feed this into place. And now we want our display cable to be about where it needs to be once it's installed, meaning over towards this side of the opening. And we just want to make sure it's not twisted or pinched. And we'll go ahead and get it almost in place, give it a little tension on the bottom, and then snap this down into place. Now we're just simply going to plug our display back into the control box, and then we'll plug the OBD2 harness up into our OBD2 connector. And now, whatever your preference is, you can zip tie this, you can use the wire tie. You'll need to have this all tucked up in under the dash so we can put the trim back in. Most of our cars, we're just tossing these in because they're coming right back out. I've never had an issue with rattles, but to each their own. I know some people go above and beyond with wire management. So we'll go ahead and get this bundled up and then get that trim piece back in. Now that we've got that all bundled up, we'll go ahead and plug these harnesses back in. We got two of them on this model. And simply snap the trim back into place. Be sure that this edge gets under your weather stripping. Now that we're done, go ahead and start your engine. Make sure the gauge comes on. Fires right up, so we are good to go on this one. Wow, that alarm is annoying. But now, don't know if you're into this or not. You can go ahead and peel it, or maybe not, I don't know. I'm peeling this for the video. I like to leave them on. I always say that. It bothers everyone. But in 2 years, I can take that off. Brand new glass underneath. Either way, that wraps up this install. Another easy one to do. This might take the cake, even easier than 5th gen Mustang. But if you got any questions on 11th gen or any of our other gauges, leave a comment below. We'll get back to you. P3 is just 3 guys. We really appreciate you watching these videos. Tell your friends about P3, and thanks for watching. Struggle bus.